Hello, today we're going to be going through how I made this Yokkos kit swap. We went from this Coventry kit here to the Everton kit. Basically all we did was just removed all the assets from the kit, changed the colour, and then added the assets from the Everton kit onto it. It's quite difficult and it does vary from kit to kit how kit swaps go, but I'll go through how I did this one and hopefully it'll help you. So first, if we open the smart object to actually see what I've done. Firstly, what we did is if I just remove all of this, we removed all of the assets from the kit. Now I don't actually have most of that, I have some of it. All I did was just use the content aware fill just to remove all the assets, which I'll show you how to do. So basically you just press L for the lasso tool, you just circle it, right click, content aware fill, copy these settings. I usually output to a new layer, but it doesn't really matter. And then press OK, and it will go away. Usually 9 times out of 10 it will give you a clean swap, but sometimes it doesn't work, so you just have to play around with that. But yeah, that's what I did to remove all the assets. And then I did change the colour of the kit, where you just mask the area. If I get rid of all this, so you mask the area where you want to change the colour. This is for black only, really. I'll link some videos below on how you change the colour from other colours into coloured kits. But for black, all I did was just added the blue. You just play around to find the right blue with the blending mode of colour, and then use levels to sort of get the right shadows out of it. And that's sort of quite difficult, but once you just get a general colour, it's alright, because you can always modify it later with selective colour, which will bring out the right blues that you need. And then after that, we added the collar. Luckily with this one, it was from a Hummel kit to a Hummel kit, which is Everton, which helps because I think the kit's kind of similar, because they're obviously made by the same people. So the collar was actually the same. All I had to do was recolor it and add like the Hummel whatever arrow onto the side. I just had to recolor that. So yeah, we added that. We added the collar, which was kind of difficult. So it was originally blue because we did colour it, and then we just brightened it up with curves, just masking that. And then I desaturated it and brought the lightness all the way up, and then I desaturated it by 60 just to bring out that realistic. It doesn't look perfect on here, but you don't really, it looks fine when you look at it like this. Like with kit swaps, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, it's very difficult to get it like that, but anything close to realistic is quite impressive. And then I added whatever this is. I think this is the pattern. Yeah, this is the kit pattern for the Everton kit, which obviously varies from kit to kit, but this is the pattern. I probably did this wrong looking back at it, because I used Liquify, which I'll go through in a minute, just to sort of mould it to the creases within the kit. It obviously isn't perfect. I didn't spend ages on this because you can barely see the pattern. I think I had it on 11%, but probably in hindsight I should have used displacement map. If you don't know how to use that, have a look on YouTube or something. That is quite useful for kit swaps. I wouldn't use it for these assets, but it probably is useful for a kit pattern. I should have used that, but it is what it is, you don't really notice. And then for the sponsor, I literally just got the logo for Stake. I used Liquify, which I'll go through now, just to sort of mould it to the creases within the kit. So you just get the brush, decrease the size, put the pressure where you need it, and then you sort of mould it round to fit the creases. It's probably worth spending a while on this because it does look good if you can get it right. But if you sort of fit it to the creases, it works. Like obviously in something like that. And then I added exposure. I actually did this at the end because I thought it needed it, but it did work, just to sort of bring out the creases. So you can see there, just darkening where it would get darker, just to sort of add a realistic effect. I do use blend diff as well, which I'm not 100% sure actually works well, because it sort of just makes it look slightly weak, but it does work in some situations. Wouldn't advise using it all the time, but it does work just to bring out the shadows. But again, you can do that manually with exposure. Yeah, then moving on to the badge. Yeah, this is the badge. So firstly, I just brightened up the area where the badge would be, because usually when they're put on a shirt they have a bit of a glow. And then I actually added the badge, which was literally just an Everton badge that was white. And this is where it sort of, I think I accidentally added sort of the stitching of the stroke, because the badge wasn't 100% smooth, so I added a stroke to try and get stitching, and it actually looks quite good, which I'm not sure that worked 100% of the time. I'm going to try it for another swap I do and see if it works. But yeah, if the badge isn't smooth and you add a stroke, it gives some quite good stitching, which I found. But yeah, you could also just cut out a badge from the shirt of another player and add it on, which might work. It might be difficult to match the lighting and stuff, but you could try that. And then I added an outer glow. I don't remember doing that. I don't know if it does anything. Whatever. Then I added a drop shadow just to give it a little bit of depth, because obviously it does stick out from the shirt a bit when it's stitched on. And it does actually look quite good. I did also add, perspective, just to like sort of line it onto the shirt where it would fit, which is quite important, because obviously if I just did that it would look very flat, not as good. Whereas if you give it some perspective it looks good. And then I think I did use Liquify. I might have warped it. I do think I used Liquify like I did on the Stake logo, which works. And then for the Hummel logo, I just again added just the logo, put perspective on it, which is here, just to sort of put it on the shirt. And then I did use a Liquify as well, which worked well, sort of mould it to the creases. And that for the kit swap is pretty much it. It does vary from kit to kit, but for this one I think it worked pretty well, the techniques I used. If you want to see another one, let me know, or if you want to see a completely different tutorial, let me know in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching.